Alright, hello. Continuing on with the new additions onto this patch, we're gonna take a look at the augments that got introduced in this patch. But I'm not gonna show the Hildren one because I don't like Hildren. I'm gonna be honest, I am not a Hildren player. I don't really play her that much. I don't really like her that much. I've seen that the augment can be decent, but I really don't enjoy playing this Warframe whatsoever, even after the changes, so I didn't even try it yet myself. So, we're gonna take a look at the other two, starting with the important one, which is Voruna's augment. So, um, should be right here. Yeah. So Prey of Dynar. Increase enemy's damage vulnerability by 50%. Using Fang of Rax on that enemy increases the spread radius by 150%. Now, this used to be multiplicative with range. Supposedly that was a bug that was introduced randomly and that got fixed, and now it's normal again. So, thinking how we're on the normal version of this bug, this version of the bug should be like okay, right? It should be like pretty strong still, but not that crazy. Well, the hotfix for the bug basically did nothing, and I'm gonna show you that right now because you can still get insane, and I mean insane kill per minute using this. So we're gonna go into normal Ani and show first 2 minutes of the mission because I don't think there is a point showing more of this mission with the Prey of Dynar. I have Roar with it, and Roar is replacing my fourth ability because you can have your third ability up while doing this, and that's actually useful sometimes. But in general, you don't really have any energy issues, especially when you run Archon Stretch. So I just like going status effect resistance to completely negate any status effects from any enemies. So we're gonna find the enemy that is marked. It's this guy, has the red aura next to him. Then you press 2, and you just keep pressing 2 on him, and then everybody in the room dies. And then there is another marked target that spreads the status effects, and then another one, and then another one, and it just keeps going and going and going. So you find that target, you just keep doing this, and we're gonna see what KPM we can get through this. So this guy, that guy. And, well, as long as you can keep track of who is targeted, you can get some really funny KPM using this. So, already not doing too great, but we'll see that it doesn't really matter a lot. And the funny thing is that the new targets reapply all the statuses again for some reason. Because that's fun and shit, so yay. So now it's the Xmas enemy, which is great. Now it's... who is it? Oh, it's this guy. Okay. Now it's the other Xmas. Great. And, well, we have 300 kills in 3 minutes, and I've completely fucked up. This could have been way better. But as you can see, even like this, on something that is not so max, doesn't have Archon Swords or anything, you can get some pretty nasty results. And why are Archon Swords important? Well, simple. This can proc Corrosive. So a Tau Force Corrosive stack is absolutely essential to a build like this, and will basically multiply your damage that much more. Also, you can have shards that increases ability damage, and these work on this ability multiplicatively, and it just gets way too crazy. So you get my point. You can get way better talents, you can get way better regulations to do this, and the spread radius has no LOS check, so you know, it gets quite funny. it just hits everything. And because it's usually procs gas, it just hits everything again and again that is walking to it. So it really just is what it is. I mean, I don't know what else to say about this. You see that you don't really need Roar to make this work. I mean, Roar just makes it more consistent, I guess, for higher level missions, if you want to go that way, but it's honestly just really dumb. It's just a really, really dumb augment for high kill per minute stuff. Yeah, 500 kills, 3 minutes. As you can see, pretty easily possible to get 200 KPM on this augment. So, very, very strong indeed. It's an augment that you can use alongside a normal crit build on your Voruna as well, which makes it that much better. And since there is a status spread, a simple status spread on this when you kill the target, you can get a weapon that has really, really high status chance and something like a DOT, something like heat, something like electricity, anything goes really, and you can make that ridiculous. Like you could go a Vectis with gas and then just press 2 on the target, shoot him once on the head, and then he will spread that status to everybody, and that could probably go endless. So there is a lot of stuff going on with this augment, and it's very interesting on that it buffs pretty much the ability itself. That it's like, well, it's an augment for this, yet it buffs this. I don't really understand how that makes sense, but I'm not gonna question it. I'm just gonna say that it's specifically insanely good for any room clearing, and it pretty much can fuck up an entire squad. Like any squad that you're in, as long as you find the one enemy that is vulnerable, then this just absolutely destroys everything. And you can get so many synergies with this, it's insane. So yeah, Voruna's augment, ridiculous, very, very strong. There is one more augment that we're gonna check, and that is Gyre. So Gyre's augment is even more interesting in my opinion. First of all, this has to be one of the most fun augments I've tested in this game for the past... I've been playing this game since 2016. This has to be one of the most fun synergies and fun augments that has ever been introduced into the game. Like, it makes you wish Gyre's 2 was that ability to begin with, but it couldn't happen because this kind of synergizes your 2, 3, and 4 at the same time. This is a crazy augment. And, like, the best part about it is that even though it combines 3 of Gyre's abilities, it is an augment that actually is able to be put onto any Warframe. So you can get some really good stuff with Gyre because you can red quit from her passive. But at the same time, putting it on other Warframes will also do crazy amounts of work. So let's see what it does in action first of all. Go back to Annie, my beloved. I'm gonna explain it first because I think if I don't explain it, then we will lose a lot of points on how it works. So how does the augment work? Well, first of all, your 2, you used to throw it and then you would suck enemies in. Now you throw it, it doesn't suck enemies in, it creates a rotoswell around it all the time, and then you can recast it to you, and if you melee it, you can throw it back. Then recast it and throw it back. And you can keep doing this until finally it explodes on its own, and then it sucks everyone in, and then it does multiple discharges to the people that are sucked in. If that's not enough, there is a meter on the top right. You see that 20 over there? The more the ball moves, the higher the meter goes. And this meter is simply the attack speed of the ball and the number of procs. Now if we hold it, we can detonate it early as well, if we want to just see what it does. But overall, I wouldn't recommend detonating this early ever. It's just way too strong to detonate early like that. So I have silence on my guy. I could get something like Roar to make it even more dumb, but I simply don't need to. So we're gonna leave that there. It's gonna do quite a lot. As you can see, it does damage on its own. as it happens, and then it also does damage at the end. So we're gonna like throw it there as it's ending, then detonate it. And you see there is like a lot of procs. These guys just died too early for the procs to fully take effect, but it is basically, in terms of damage, it's pre-nerf Discharge. It's genuinely a pre-nerf Discharge, and it's actually really, really strong. Like, now I detonated it without even that much attack speed, and it absolutely one-shots. And it's so nice, because you can, as I said, put this on other frames. And because you can put this on other frames, there is some really interesting stuff that you can do with it. Randomly detonated, I don't know where it was. Genuinely, but... this isn't very practical in terms of gameplay. Like, this doesn't give you high kills per minute. I'm like 90 kpm, and I've tested this a bunch of times, and it's hard to get above 90 kpm. But honestly, it is quite fun. And fun is something I value a lot when playing this game. And also, it can be practical if you get used to it. It's not worth getting used to this, especially when Gyre is Gyre herself. But on other frames, this augment could be really, really funny. I know it's really funny on Rhino. Amolistic made a video about it. I asked him to make the video about it because I was curious, genuinely curious on how it looks on him. But as you can see, now without detonating it, the Eximus enemy, as long as we take it through him, it will kill him on its own. But when we detonate it, and all these guys will just die instantly, and then more enemies will be sucked in, 18 procs on this guy almost instantly, like... there is stuff to be seen here, for sure. And there are stuff to take into account when playing with this augment, for sure. It's just a really, really funny augment. And seeing people get a million electricity procs will always be satisfying. But as I said, in terms of high kill per minute, in terms of if you wanna just be maximum efficiency, this is not the most efficient one, but you can still use it as a tool of efficiency. Like, let's say that we are on this room, right? And then we just take the ball back and forth, or we're like moving in a mission and we'll just recall the ball to us every time while we're moving through the mission. And at some point we just recast it. It sucks everyone behind us that we've gathered in, and it just deals damage to them. Like, there are stuff that the ball can do, and also the fact you can see the ball constantly through minimap is actually really, really useful. That would make the augment 10 times harder to play if that wasn't the case, but... even like this, I feel like this is something that just piqued my attention for Gyre, because I always liked Gyre as a Warframe. I think she's really fun. However, this just made her that much more fun. Like, damn. That hurts. That does really good damage. And the more duration you have, the better it's gonna be, obviously. Because, you know, the more you can throw it, the more it will charge, and the more... like, when this meter on the top right goes to around 200 and you detonate it, that's literally 200 electric bolts. Like, it's almost a one-to-one correspondence, and that's why it does so much damage. So... you can clearly tell that you can make this work really well for other frames, and you can make this work well for Gyre herself when done correctly. A lot of people don't understand this augment, in fact, and they just deemed it as dog shits, but... you know, just play around a little bit. You may find something really fun. That's me detonating it like at 100. As you see, it still kills very quickly. So you don't have to do all this stuff if you're gonna go base still pop. You can just throw it, recall it, throw it again, then detonate it, and it will do quite a bit of damage, enough to kill base level still path. Acolyte coming in. Gonna detonate it. And you see the ball on its own. That's just the base damage. Acolytes cannot take all the electric procs that the ball will do, and it is really, really strong. It is really, really strong. So yeah, Out of all the augments, Gyre's one is my favorite, not because it's the best, but because it's the most fun, and because it's on an ability that is subsumable to other frames, and because it's subsumable to other frames, we can get some interesting synergies. And the first thing I was like skeptical about was 100% Titania. I'm not saying that Titania will this might be like insane or something, but since this scales with the amount of distance you have covered, and every time you recall it, it comes directly to you, that could have some pretty funny stuff with Razor Wing Blitz. It could be quite funny. Also, fun fact, my Gyre has one valid Archon Sword for the ability damage, so considering you can put 5 of these guys very easily on Gyre, and it benefits her the most, that is only a fraction of the amount of damage you can do. So, here is the build for my Coil Recharge build. Is using both augments, as I feel like Cathode Current is a staple for Gyre. You can play without it, in my opinion. And the Voruna build, which can probably become way better. Also, I don't think I had the Archon Stretch on Gyre, so that's also a problem. Let me check, actually, I'm curious. Where is she? Yeah, an Archon Stretch, so if you really want, you can plummet a bit of your strength and add more range here, and then that's really good as well. There is obviously flexibility, and it's dependent on what you like personally, but that seemed to have worked the best for me, and yeah, I really like this augment. I'm gonna be honest. I will put a Molistics video in the description as well, so you guys can see the augment in action on other frames. He's using it on his Rhino, as he's a Rhino main, and in general, he's basically doing what I do with Wisp, but on Rhino. He has 7 Rhinos, and they're all Tau Forged. They're all like 8 Forma in some setups, so you know, pretty similar to what I have. And yeah. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I'll leave Discord and Twitch links in the description below, and I'll see you on the next video.